So firing it up again. We're good. We're live. Or not? We will be.
All right. Hopefully, we'll come up with something that's worthy of being added to this. So I was asking you, what are some family traditions or experiences that you had, and you mentioned fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Fireworks, yeah, it become kind of commercial, but there is an actual representation of fireworks. What did you say about that?
Well, I had said that I thought that the fireworks. It's one of the early memories that I have.
Yeah.
We'd play with sparklers. We'd light firecrackers. But the firework displays.
Yeah.
I think that to a lot of people are just pretty, but to me they've come to, over the years, and for most of my adult life, I guess they're a representation of the bombs bursting in air.
Yeah. The rocket's red glare.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. I love the song, and I love to hear the Star Spangled Banner when it's played. I love to see a crowd in a rodeo or a football stadium or a stadium of fire or whatever you want to do, and see people singing and praying and seeing the flags fly and the fireworks, going off. It's a wonderful thing. And so you had good experiences with your friends and your family. Do you have a relative who served, or any veterans in your family that you think of?
Oh yeah, first one's my dad. My dad's a Marine.
Your dad was a Marine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he served in the Aleutian Islands during the Korean War.
Oh.
He enlisted during the Korean War. He never went to Korea. He went to the Aleutian Islands.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what his term was, 3 years, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever it was when he got in there, and then he got out and married my mother, and the rest is history.
So Wilford Brimley served in the Marines, huh?
Yeah, and he was very proud of that.
Oh, sure.
I got to get a picture from my stepmom. There's a picture of my dad. It's not even really a debate, but I don't know that it's ever been really super documented. When Disneyland opened, I think it was their opening day, they had the Marine Corps there.
Yeah.
There's a picture of my dad standing in line with all these other Marines, and you can just see kind of the silhouette or the side of his face, but you can tell it's him.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
So it's kind of cool.
Oh, that is cool. And of course, you brought up Disneyland, and as there was a time you lived down in the LA area, you've been to Disneyland probably a number of times.
Yeah.
As have I.
Mm-hmm.
And let me ask you this: Did you ever? You must have gone through the Abraham Lincoln.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I saw that, and Abraham, that's all going on in the background, and kind of the clouds make kind of a flag, and Abraham's talking. Next thing you know, this animatronic being stands up.
50 years ago.
That blew me and my family and I away. I remember my dad just, wow. I mean, I was just a little kid.
60 years ago.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to this in a roundabout way. This guitar belonged to my uncle.
Uh-huh.
And his wife gave it to me after he passed away. And the reason that it reminds me, this all comes back, is because my dad's younger brother. He started a choir in Salt Lake. My uncle Sterling, he started a choir called the Sterling Singers.
Mm-hmm.
And they got very, very big. For a while, they were bigger than the Tabernacle Choir.
I think I've heard the name.
I think they had up to 375 voices.
Wow.
Yeah, they were a big choir. He reached out to me on the just shortly before the anniversary of the 9/11 tragedy. They were going to do it was on the 1 year anniversary of that tragedy. The Sterling Singers put on a choir, and he asked me to be a part of it, and I was reluctant, but I did it because I'm not a big choir guy, but I did it, and after after I did that, it was far and away to this day the most significant spiritual thing I've ever had to do with in a choir in my in my lifetime. It was so beautiful, patriotic.
Yeah.
But in the choir, in that performance, he had me prepare a special number with a couple of other guys who are now my dear brothers, Mark Milligan and John Deal. We prepared a song, and it was called "Tell My Father," and it is from a production called, I believe it was called Civil War. Could be wrong on that, but it's a beautiful song, "Tell My Father." And I did it at quite a few, little private parties and things like that, but it makes me cry and makes other people cry. So it's
Well, if you want to play a line
I don't
and we can
remember
see
it.
you cry, we'd probably like that.
It doesn't take much for me to cry. I
Yeah.
cry at, prize fights and swap meets and
Swap meets. Okay.
farmers markets. It doesn't take much for me to cry.
Alrighty, well, I appreciate that. I wish I had that ability to cry more often. It's a good thing, good for the soul, I think. So it's good to hear that your dad was a Marine. Yeah. When you sing, and I've been to see you sing around town, and you and the, what do you call them, the Amigos?
The Three Amigos. There's four of us.
There's it's called the Three Amigos, and there's four of you. Okay.
You got to figure out which one don't fit.
Somebody doesn't fit?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to figure
We
that
all
out.
fit.
But I've enjoyed listening to you guys sing. You put on a good show. I like it.
Thank you.
Of those numbers, do you ever get into this time of year where you share a patriotic song that you prefer?
That's a great question, and nothing comes to mind. We've got one coming up. We're going to be playing on July 3rd in West Bountiful for their celebration, and we probably should include some patriotic stuff. I'm just saying.
I'm thinking so.
Not a bad idea. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe get yourself a red, white, and blue shirt.
Yeah.
Stick with the hat the way it is. That's your brand. You put on a red, white, and blue shirt, short sleeve,
It's a good idea.
you'll be sharp.
That's a good idea.
Get respected. Warm up that guitar and show West Bountiful what for.
Will do.
Okay.
Will do.
Love you, Bill.
Love you too. Thanks, buddy.